To find an equivalent polynomial for the opposite or additive inverse of a polynomial, change the sign of every term. This is the same as multiplying the polynomial by -1. In the instructions here, in this example, it's asking us to write two equivalent expressions for the opposite of this polynomial. One, as I mentioned, is to multiply it by -1. So -1 times the quantity x squared minus 3x plus 5 will be one way to write the opposite of this given polynomial. The other is to change each of the signs. And if you do the distributive property, -1 times each one of these, you can see where the opposite of each of the signs is generating an equivalent to the given expression here. -1 times x squared is -x squared. Negative times negative is positive 3x, and negative times positive 5 is a -5. It is the opposite of the original polynomial, and both of these are ways of expressing the opposite. Here they're asking us to simplify this expression. What we have is a -1 times this polynomial, and as we just saw, this is a way of indicating that they want the opposite of this polynomial. We can go through the steps of distributing that multiplication of -1 times every one of those terms, or recognize if we take the opposite sign of each of those terms, we have an equivalent. Using the distributive, -1 times 5x is a -5x to the 4th power. Negative times negative is a positive, 4 times x to the 3rd. -1 times positive 2 is a -2x to the 2nd. Negative times positive 5 is a -5x. And last, negative times a negative is a positive 2. Now, I verified it using the distributive, but I could have just as easily, recognizing the -1 out here, is the same as changing every sign of each term to the opposite. 5x to the 4th is a negative, negative to a positive, positive to negative, and so on, so that we have simplified this with an equivalent expression.